Jonathan Roumie, the face of Jesus in The Chosen. The man who turned a small crowdfunded series into a global phenomenon. But now fans everywhere are asking a painful question. What if he has to leave the role that defined him? Why would the heart of this series suddenly step away? And what would it mean for the future of The Chosen *? When Jonathan Roumie first appeared on screen as Jesus in The Chosen, many viewers had no idea who he was. He was not a Hollywood superstar or a household name. He was a struggling actor who had spent years waiting for the right role. Yet the moment he stepped into the sandals of Jesus, something remarkable happened. Audiences felt a deep connection. His calm voice, his gentle expressions, and his human warmth brought the role to life in a way few had ever seen before. Jonathan did not just play a character. He carried the weight of portraying one of the most important figures in human history. This role was not just another job, it became a mission. And for millions of viewers, it felt like he was chosen for this role as much as the show itself. The Chosen is no ordinary series. From its early days, it was built with the support of fans through crowdfunding. It carried the hopes of people who wanted to see the story of Jesus told in a new and authentic way. Jonathan Roumie became the center of that vision. His performance helped the show grow from a small project into a series watched by millions across the world. His face became the face of the movement. But being at the center of such a story comes with pressure. Playing Jesus is not just about learning lines and stepping in front of cameras. It demands emotional strength, spiritual depth, and endless energy. Fans see the calm and love in his performance, but behind the scenes, the burden is heavy. Jonathan himself has spoken openly about how overwhelming it can feel to carry this responsibility. He knows how deeply people connect with his role, and that makes the weight even greater. This is why rumors began to spread. Could the pressure become too much? Could Jonathan step away to protect his own well-being? Fans fear that the man who gave so much might finally need to take a step back. And that question leads us to the most painful thought. What would The Chosen be without him? The moment fans heard whispers about Jonathan Roumie possibly leaving The Chosen. Shock and fear spread across online communities. Social media lit up with questions. Could it really be true? Would the man who made Jesus feel so real walk away from the very role that defined his career? Part of this fear began with the sheer silence around certain parts of production. Whenever an actor steps away from the spotlight, rumors fill the gap. Some fans noticed Jonathan taking on other projects, attending events, and speaking at large gatherings. They wondered if his schedule was becoming too heavy to continue giving everything to The Chosen. For an actor carrying a role this demanding, the possibility felt real. Then came the interviews. Jonathan Roumie has been open about the emotional and spiritual weight of playing Jesus. He described moments of exhaustion, of carrying the expectations of millions, of feeling drained yet determined to push forward. For audiences who love him, these honest admissions sparked both admiration and concern. If the role demands so much, could it eventually become too much? Speculation only grew when fans discussed the natural length of the series. The Chosen is planned to run across multiple seasons, but every production has limits. Some began asking if Jonathan might step away before the very end, leaving the story to be finished in a new way. Others feared the worst, that health concerns or personal struggles might force him to make a heartbreaking choice. Fan theories took on a life of their own. Some pointed to his increasing popularity and suggested that Hollywood might try to pull him into bigger projects. Others whispered about creative differences, imagining conflicts with the production team. Every possibility, from the reasonable to the extreme, became fuel for discussion. Yet at the heart of all this speculation is one truth. Fans cannot imagine The Chosen without Jonathan Roumie. His face, his presence, his performance are tied so deeply to the show that even the thought of replacement feels impossible. This is why every rumor hits with such force. People are not just afraid of losing an actor, they're afraid of losing the heart of a story that changed their lives. And so the question remains, are these fears built on facts, or are they only the echoes of worried fans who love him too much to let him go? Asterisk when we ask why Jonathan Roumie might ever step away from The Chosen. The answers are not simple. This is not just about an actor choosing his next project. It is about the weight of responsibility, the demands of time, the toll it takes on both body and spirit. The first reason many fans consider is scheduling. Jonathan has become a recognized name far beyond the series. He is invited to events, asked to speak at conferences, and offered new opportunities that once seemed out of reach. Balancing all of these commitments while staying fully devoted to The Chosen is no small task. Every hour he gives to something else takes energy away from the role. Millions expect him to deliver at the highest level. Then there is the emotional challenge. Playing Jesus is not like playing any other character. It is a role that carries sacred meaning for people around the world. Every look, every word, every gesture is examined and discussed. Jonathan himself has admitted that this pressure can feel overwhelming. He wants to honor the story and remain true to the message, but that effort can drain even the strongest actor. For some, the responsibility would be too much to carry for so many years in a row. Another reason fans whisper about is health. It's acting under constant pressure, long filming schedules, and emotional demands can wear anyone down. Jonathan gives everything on set, often pushing himself beyond limits, and some worry that continuing at this pace could affect his well-being. A break, or even a full departure, might one day become a necessary choice if health comes first. And we cannot ignore the natural arc of the story. The Chosen is planned to move through the full life of Jesus. Each season carries heavier themes, darker moments, and deeper emotion. For Jonathan, this means the role only becomes more demanding. As the story nears its end, some believe he may step aside if he feels unable to give what is required when those most intense scenes arrive. Finally, there is the lure of Hollywood itself. When an actor proves his talent in such a powerful way, doors open. Offers from major studios could tempt him toward new horizons. While Jonathan has always spoken about his love for The Chosen, fans cannot help but wonder if another project might eventually call him away. Each of these reasons has its own weight, and none of them are far-fetched. Together, they create a storm of uncertainty. For now, he remains the center of The Chosen. But these possibilities remind fans how fragile it all feels. The question is not only if Jonathan could leave, but how long he can continue carrying such a demanding role without sacrifice. Asterisk rumors can spread fast. But the most important voice in this story is Jonathan Roumie himself. And when he speaks about The Chosen, his words carry both honesty and weight. In several interviews, Jonathan has opened his heart about what it means to play Jesus. He has said it is the greatest honor of his life, but also one of the heaviest responsibilities he has ever faced. He described the role as something that has transformed him personally, deepening his own faith and reshaping his outlook on life. Yet he never hides the truth that carrying this role is exhausting. Jonathan explained that every day on set requires not only acting skills, but also spiritual strength. He knows that audiences are not just watching a performance. They are seeking comfort, inspiration, and even guidance. For him, that means every scene matters, every line matters. And that level of pressure can feel like a mountain resting on his shoulders. Still, Jonathan has never once said that he is walking away. In fact, his comments often show the opposite. He speaks of feeling called to this role, almost as if it was his destiny after years of struggling in Hollywood. Said that despite the fatigue, despite the weight, he continues because the impact on audiences is too powerful to ignore. Fans write to him from around the world, telling him how the show has changed their lives. Those messages remind him why he stays. At the same time, Jonathan is human. He admits to moments of doubt. He admits that portraying Jesus can feel overwhelming, and that he sometimes wonders how long he can carry it. These small confessions are what fuel the fears of fans. When he says the role is hard, they imagine the possibility of him one day stepping back. But hearing the full context makes it clear. He is not speaking of quitting. He is speaking of the burden that comes with doing the role well. For now, Jonathan's own words give more reassurance than worry. He continues to show up for filming, continues to speak about the future of the show, and continues to express gratitude for being part of it. While rumors spin stories of departure, Jonathan's own voice suggests that he is still committed. What matters most is that fans listen carefully. His honesty about the challenges does not mean an ending is near. It means he is letting people see the cost of what he gives. And in a way, that honesty makes his performance even more meaningful. Because audiences know he is not pretending. He is giving everything he has, even when it is hard. The biggest question that rises from all these rumors is simple. What would happen to The Chosen if Jonathan Roumie ever walked away? The truth is, the show has built its identity around his presence. For many fans, Jonathan is not just the actor playing Jesus. He has become the image they see when they imagine the story. His tone of voice, his gentle expressions, his human warmth, all of it has left a mark that feels almost permanent. Taking him out of that role would shake the foundation of the series. If Jonathan were to leave, the first impact would be on the audience. Loyal viewers who invested their hearts into the show would feel betrayed, even if it was not his fault. The connection people feel with his version of Jesus is deeply personal. For some, it has changed their faith, their hope, even their outlook on life. To lose that connection suddenly would not only cause disappointment, but also heartbreak. The second impact would be on the story itself. Placing an actor who embodies such a sacred role is not like switching a character in a normal drama. Any new face would feel out of place. The consistency of the narrative would break. Every scene that came before would feel like it belonged to a different story. That risk could damage the legacy of The Chosen, no matter how skilled the replacement might be. Behind the scenes, the production team would also face chaos. Filming schedules would stall, contracts would need rewriting, and creative directions might have to shift entirely. For a series with global expectations, such a disruption could set the entire project back by years. And beyond the logistics, there is something deeper. Jonathan Roumie's journey mirrors the message of the show itself. He was an unknown actor. Given a chance to step into a role that seemed bigger than him, through faith and dedication, he brought it to life in a way no one expected. To lose him now would not just change the show, it would change the symbol that the show has become. This is why the idea of him leaving creates so much noise among fans. It is not just about losing an actor, it is about losing the heartbeat of a story that millions have come to cherish. Without him, The Chosen would still exist. But it would never feel the same asterisk after all the speculation. One question remains: is Jonathan Roumie really leaving The Chosen? The answer, based on what we know right now, is far less dramatic than the fears of fans. Jonathan himself has never announced any plan to quit. In fact, his interviews show a consistent message. He acknowledges the weight of the role, admits the pressure is intense, but at the same time, he expresses gratitude for being part of something so meaningful. He often says that this opportunity changed his life and that he feels blessed to continue. The creator of The Chosen, Hollis Jenkins, has also reassured viewers more than once. He has made it clear that Jonathan is central to the vision of the series. Both men have spoken about the long journey ahead, hinting that the story is meant to run all the way to the end. These words do not sound like the words of a team preparing for an exit. They sound like a team fully committed to finishing what they started. So why do the rumors keep spreading? Part of it is the mystery that surrounds such a beloved role. When fans love a character this deeply, every small comment, every sign of fatigue, every personal project can spark worry. Social media magnifies that worry and turns it into stories that feel real. In truth, most of these fears grow out of love. People cannot bear the thought of losing the actor who made them feel so connected to the story. But the facts tell a different picture. Jonathan is still filming. He is still attending events tied to the show. He is still speaking openly about the future of The Chosen. The rumors may rise and fall, but the reality is steady. He has not left. He has not walked away. And there is no official sign that he intends to do so. What this means for fans is simple. The heart of The Chosen is still beating. The man who gave life to its central role is still there. The fears may linger, but for now, the truth is reassuring. Jonathan Roumie is not leaving. Of course, the future is never guaranteed. Every actor, every show faces changes as time goes on. But today, the story remains intact, and the bond between Jonathan and the Chosen is strong. That truth should comfort the millions who hold this series close to their hearts. The story of Jonathan Roumie and the Chosen is more than entertainment. It is a journey that has touched millions of lives, crossing cultures and faiths, uniting people through a story told with heart. That is why the idea of him leaving feels so unsettling. Fans do not want to imagine the Chosen without him because he has become the soul of the series. But the truth as it stands is simple. Jonathan is still here. He is still filming. He is still speaking with gratitude about the role that changed his life. The fears of his departure come from love, from the connection audiences feel, not from facts. And while the future will always carry uncertainty, today the role of Jesus remains in his hands. For the audience, this means one thing: the journey is not over. The story is still being told. The man chosen to embody it is still standing in place, giving everything he has. Now the question turns to you. Do you believe Jonathan Roumie will remain until the very end of The Chosen? Or do you think the weight of the role may one day push him to step away? Share your thoughts in the comments because your voice matters in this conversation. If this story moved you, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more updates. There is so much more ahead in The Chosen, and the future will be full of surprises. Stay tuned, because the next chapter promises to bring even more powerful moments, and you will not want to miss them.